This episode of the What's Happening Delco podcast is sponsored by Delco Meets for Business. Check us out on Meetup at Delco Meets, the number 4 business, and attend one of our incredible networking events. Be sure to register, and we'll see you there. What's happening, Delco? I'm Rich Shane, and welcome to the What's Happening Delco podcast. Today I'm joined by M.R. Joseph. M.R. Joseph, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Rich. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, we're going to get this out of the way right away. M.R. Joseph is your pen name, but
Yeah.
you are...
Melissa Redkar is my name.
And how did you come up with this pen name?
So I came up with the pen name. It's my first initial, my last initial, and then Joseph was my father's name. My father passed when I was 21, and I started writing when I was 38. So I kind of wanted to pay homage to him. So I took his name, his first name. So that's how I came up with it.
You're an author,
I
and you
am.
have a pen name. How
Yes.
did... You said you started writing in 38. How did you come about this idea, this passion for writing?
The passion for writing started by reading, actually. During 2012, there was a big surge of independent authors, starting with E.L. James and the whole 50 Shades of Grey phenomenon. It started with that. And after that, I just became, I was always a big reader, voracious reader. And then I started getting more and more into it, and books just became, I found books just become very comforting. My little thing, my part of my life just for me. I was a mom, I had two small kids, and I wanted just something for me. So with that, I thought to myself, I wonder if I could do this. And I was approaching my 20th high school reunion. I went to Ridley High School, graduated in class of 92. And I wanted to write a story about people meeting at high school reunions after not seeing each other for a long time. So that's where the idea for the first book came. And I started writing, and I would write when the kids went to bed on this little tiny iPad. And my husband just came up to me one night and he said, "What are you doing?" And I go, "Oh, you're going to think I'm crazy." And he said, "No, what are you doing?" And I said, "I'm writing a book." And he said, "You are?" I said, "Yes." He goes, "Can I read it?" And I said, "Well, it's not done yet, but if you want to read what I have, you're more than welcome to." So gave him the iPad. I went to bed. He woke me up in the middle of the night. He read the whole thing. I think I was 9 or 12 chapters in. And he said, "I think we have something here." And I said, "No." And from that time on, he did a lot of research to try and figure out how we could get that published. So I finished the manuscript, got an editor, and we went from there.
And here we are today with a
10
pen
books
name and
later.
everything else.
Yes. Yes, 10 books later, Amazon bestsellers list, 2014 Amazon bestsellers list, and then in 2015 I became one of Amazon's up and comers. So that was a real treat, and did a lot of traveling because the more books that I wrote, they would have book signings all over the United States, all over. I have been all over the East Coast and the West Coast, and and all anywhere in between. And it was absolutely amazing. I would do 4 or 5 signings a year for, I don't know, 7 years, 7, 8 years. So it was really exciting. You got to meet readers, people that read your words, which to me is just so unbelievable that someone would actually take the time to read and stand in a line to meet me and ask questions about my books. And it was just so humbling and such a wonderful experience. Just great.
So you draw from any past life experiences or anything that you've done for some of the characters in the books that you write?
Always. Not necessarily myself, but a lot of my main male characters are based little bits of my husband, and a lot of the female characters, even the side characters, are based on a lot of my friends in my personal life. So I take a little bit of their personalities and I put them inside my characters. Life experiences, the only one that I could actually think of is when I was turning 40. It was kind of like a wow moment. So I wrote a book called 39 and Holding, about a woman coming to terms with turning 40 years old. So that's really, I took a lot of the ways that I was feeling at that time and poured it inside the character of that book, the main character of that book. So.
Will there be a character in an upcoming book? Let's say a male podcast host, do you think?
You never know, Rich. You never know. I would think nothing is out of the realm of possibility. That's for sure.
Do you go through a process of character development? I've heard people interviewed who are authors, and how do you structure the characters? What's your method for writing?
So my method for writing is structured up until a certain extent. So I have my characters named, their personality traits. I plot those. So what they look like, what I think their personalities are like, how tall are they, what their hair color is, down to if they're their whole personality. So I do structure it that way. And then my writing process, I do not plot. Some authors plot, some authors do not plot. I will write notes. I have a lot of books, notebooks that I have with ideas that I write down. I have one in the car. I have one at work. I have one upstairs beside my bed. I have them all over the house. And if I come up with an idea that I think might fit somewhere in the story, I will write it down. But I do not plot. It just kind of flows. It comes out as it comes out. So.
As a mom, you have your children, and
I
they're
do.
both your favorite. You have two children, right?
I have a son who's 22 that'll be graduating from Millersville University in December. And my daughter is right now at Delaware County Community College in her sophomore year. And she is going to be going to radiology school. So, yeah, 22 and 19.
All right, they're your favorite. They're always going to be your favorite. But do you have some favorite characters that you really say, "Wow, that really resonated"? I love that person that I created.
So, yes, my books, I write in the romance genre. It's not necessarily it's a typical romance type. They're typical romance type books. They tend to be in their 30s. I've written a few that they're in their 20s, and I've written, my one favorite character is the one that's about to turn 40. So she's my favorite because of the way that she just, I wanted to write her as though she was me. I came out in that character. Um, my whole way of thinking, my whole way of running a household and working, being a working mom, being a writer. I made her something else, but I made her a mom and with two kids, a boy and a girl, and just kind of weaved a lot of my personality inside of her character. So that was a lot of fun to do. That was my favorite. It made me so happy. It got me to turning 40 a lot easier. And I think it helped a lot. It was very therapeutic.
This writing, it really kind of helps get those things out. I mean, journaling, writing, and this is a way, as you pointed out, look,
Yes.
if I could put this down on paper or an iPad or a computer, come to terms with some things, think things out, and get a better handle on those thoughts, those feelings. That's just a wonderful way to express that. Has Hallmark called?
I, I wish Hallmark would call. I wish somebody would call. No, not yet. They are a little bit a step. I mean, I would say they're a little bit more not as Hallmarky. They're on the other side of Hallmarky, but there's still, there's no Christmas, there's no holiday or anything like that. But I would not be opposed to Hallmark giving me a call and, saying, "Hey, we'd love to develop one of your books into, a movie." So I'm not opposed to that. I would
All right,
never
if
be.
Hallmark is listening and they're tuning into the podcast, here's a perfect
Yes.
opportunity to highlight one of Delco's own for. I mean, Delco's been featured in TV and sitcoms and all kinds of stuff, and
I know.
what
I
better way
know.
to enhance their ratings by doing a Delco, in some way, shape, or form connected Hallmark movie?
I would love to do a shout out to Brad Inglesby. Brad Inglesby, hello. Would you like to um, take one of my books and use a manuscript and do something with it? Sure. He's a local guy, so that would be super cool. And M Night doesn't live too far from here, so that would be really cool.
You'd have to get a little dark if you wanted to go down the M Night
I
road,
wanted. I
right?
know. I know. Yes. Yes.
You started out on a little iPad,
I did.
and you've now developed into this award-winning author, this acclaimed
Oh.
author. What are some of the surprises that you've had along the way? Things that you never would have anticipated, or just experiences that you've had?
Meeting people that actually want to meet me because of words that I wrote. Recently, it's actually such a beautiful, beautiful story. About 7 or 8 years ago, I did a signing in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and uh, one of my readers came up to me with my book 39 and Holding. And 39 and Holding is about a woman turning 40 and in going through a divorce, a pretty bad divorce at the time. And this woman came up to me in Atlantic City and she was telling me about how she was going through a divorce and that she doesn't think that she would ever find anybody. But my book gave her an inspiration. And about 3 months ago, she DM'd me and said, "I have something I need to share with you." And she said, "I got married." And I said, "Oh my gosh, that's so wonderful. Congratulations. That's terrific." And she said, "And it's because of you and and your book." And I said, "You're kidding me." And she said, "No." And I put a quote from your book in my wedding vows. And I was sobbing. I could not, I had no words because I was just so touched and so honored. And that was something that was so unexpected and so, oh my gosh, I can't even describe the way that that made me feel. That gave her hope that she would find someone someday, and that she actually used some of my words in her vows. It's 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 so humbling. It's a privilege, is really what it is. It's a privilege. So that was something very unexpected.
That is so inspiring to me. And I wonder who inspires you, who motivates you, who really gives you that energy or that path to do what you do.
My husband. We will be married 25 years next week, and he has been my biggest champion. Um, just super supportive, pushes me in the best ways that he that I could be pushed. You can do this, don't give up. When there's times when you just want to erase everything that you've written and want to start over again. And he tells me, sit back, relax, and revisit it tomorrow. And he just is so inspirational and such a force. Um, just pushes me, like I said, in the best ways. He's just he's fabulous. He does all my book covers because he is an artist. So he does all my book covers, and some of the book covers, well, they're all just unbelievable. They're beautiful. I get a lot of compliments. So this whole collaboration is a family team effort. So it's really nice. But he's all inspiring, and also readers. Readers are so inspiring, and so are authors, because I read so many authors that I wind up being friendly with from all over the country. It's unbelievable. It's crazy, but I draw inspiration from them. So mhm.
I'm listening to you share your story, and I'm hearing you relate that 39 and holding uh,
Yes.
theme and the character. And I'm thinking to myself, well, would you like to write a book about 25 and holding? And it makes me wonder how many people, your friends, family, your readers, are now giving you all these ideas. Hey, for your next book or next character, or what about this or what about that? Do you have a lot of people that approach you with that?
I do. And it's funny. People in my family, especially, they're they say they'll say something to me along the lines of, why don't you make him this, or why don't you make her do that, or why don't you make him 7 foot tall, or like silly things, but things that make me laugh, and some things that are inspiring. But it is funny the way that I do get reactions from family and friends. Yes.
I think it's fun because as a reader, you start to envision the person as it's being described to you, right? But then I
Yes.
think if you sit down and have a conversation with somebody or like you, and you have your take on it, and somebody says, you know what, I pictured them bald or I pictured them taller and things like that. And you're like, no, I wasn't even going down that road, so.
So yes, I have. So editors that I've had have said that to me. Why don't you make him, or why don't you make her this way or that way? And I will take a lot of advice from editors and put little pieces that they recommend into the book, and they make it sparkle. So and my editor of my last book that just came out in June, she is from Pennsylvania, and I believe she's from Berks County. So she's not a Delco girl, but she's from Berks County. But it's she is one of the best editors I've ever had, and gave me a lot of uh, inspiration and a lot of good constructive criticism. And I'm very good at constructive criticism, and I take that and go with it. Or I may decide that I want to go the original route, but that all depends on what sparks my interest, what I like. So
You mentioned Amazon. Where else can people find your books and what you publish?
Amazon.com/author/Mr. Joseph. They can find the books there. They can find them on Apple Books. They can find them at Barnes and Noble. And they can find them on something called Kobo. Also, I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok as well. All the links to my books are on all of my social media sites.
So it's at Mr. Joseph.
So my Instagram is at M_R_Joseph_. That's my Instagram. I'm very I find Instagram to be a lot more engaging than the other platforms. TikTok's wonderful. I'm just starting to, I mean, I'm 51, so I'm just starting to the TikTok age because of my kids. They've taught me a lot. So I am becoming more and more um up on the trends on TikTok. And that's at Missy Red 74 is my handle on TikTok.
You're out and about heading to a book signing and you have a cheesesteak craving. Where are you stopping for cheesesteaks?
Where am I going for cheesesteaks? I'm going to Campos.
How about pizza? You have a pizza craving, you're bringing it home to the family. Where are you going for pizza?
Here in Ridley, I'm going to Emilio's.
And what do you like on your pizza? What's your go-to topping?
My go-to, my family will think I'm crazy. Um, I I like it all. I like a meat lover's pizza.
Ah, I love meat lovers. I love the
I,
smorgasbord of pizzas. Like you
I
couldn't put enough
do.
toppings on a pizza for me.
I love it. I love it. The more the better. The more the better. But we just friends of ours are friends with Malatesta's Pizza just opened in Newtown Square, and we are actually going to try that this weekend. So we're gonna see what that's all about. So
You're heading to Berks County to visit with your editor, and you have a convenience store need. Where are you stopping? Wawa or Royal Farms?
I'm going to Wawa.
Has Wawa
Absolutely.
made it in any of your books yet? I haven't, I'm not sure, right?
Yes. So the first one, yes, actually, there's a Wawa reference in there, and you actually have to put like the little bit of a trademark there. You had to put a little, get a little bit of a trademark.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, that's in the first book. So that,
That is so
yeah,
cool. I love it.
yes.
Melissa, what the heck's tomato pie?
Tomato pie is, to me, it's upside down pizza. That's what I call it. I call it upside down pizza.
How do you describe Delco to someone who's never been here or has not heard of Delco before?
Delco is a one and only. You have to live here to really know what it's all about. The love, the community. People that are not from here do not get it. They don't get it. And when you have a sense of community and pride in your community, and you see people coming together and there's a lot of love, that's how I can describe Delco. Born and raised here, born in Clifton Heights, raised in Ridley, and it's a real big sense of community. I work in media. I've worked in Newtown Square. I just, I love Delco. I really think it's just very loving, big community, and you never know who, if you're sitting in the nail salon, you never know who's going to be sitting next to you. That you know this person that knows this person that knows this person. So that's what I love about Delco, is that everyone knows someone, and you never know who you're going to run into.
Very true. You have friends or family coming in from out of town and you want to give them or take them to that Delco experience. Where are you sending them or where are you taking them?
Ah, so it all depends. I'm definitely taking them to media. I'm taking them to State Street. We're going up and down State Street. I'm going to take them. I want to take them during the holidays because it's so beautiful. I love to take them to the media theater to see something. Linvilla Orchards, of course. I grew up taking my children to Linvilla Orchards. It's just an experience in itself. I Where else I want to take them? The local down the street, which is Haggerty's, which your feet stick to the floor when you walk in the door.
It sounds like whatever you decide to do, whoever's coming in, they're going to have an amazing time.
Thank you. I think so. I have a lot of out of town family that come here, and they have been Delcoized, as I would say it.
No one's ever said Delcoized on the podcast ever. So thank you for that.
Delcoized. There you go. Good. You can use that. That's great.
M.R. Joseph, is there anything we haven't spoken about today on the podcast? Anything you want listeners to know more about you, your books, things that are going on in your life?
I just want to keep writing. I want to keep bringing joy to other people and make my family proud and make myself proud, because it's not an easy process. Everyone, people that are on the outside that might not see it as uh, something that's challenging, it is extremely challenging. And the hard work that goes into it is intense. It can be intense. As joyful as it is, it can be very intense. And I just want people to read my books, um, get a smile on their face, maybe a tear, maybe a cheer, uh, rooting for, the male, rooting for the female, and just basically just bring happiness to somebody.
Well, thank you so much for bringing joy and happiness to the podcast today. Grateful for your time and looking forward to rooting, cheering, and all those things with your characters. Again, I'll be looking for that, you know, very handsome, very young podcast host
Podcaster.
where I'll recognize myself in that character. So thank you for that.
You never know what might happen. You never know what might come out in a page. So look for that.
Thanks so much. Look forward to seeing more of your work and really the impact you make. As Barry Harris says, you are Delco done right.
Thank you so much, Rich. I really appreciate you having me.
Hey, it's Rich. Thank you so much for being a listener to the What's Happening Delco podcast. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to learn more about the people and businesses in our community. I have been a real estate agent for over 25 years, working with first-time home buyers to last-time home sellers. As a listener of the podcast, my gift to you is a complimentary 1-year American Home Shield home warranty. This is for buyers and sellers that I help. If you're looking to move anywhere in the United States, I have you covered with an amazing network of real estate agents. I look forward to hearing from you. My direct line is 215-313-3777, or you can email me at rshaneremax@comcast.net. Oh, by the way, I am never too busy for any of your referrals.